We've heard the stories, we've heard the statistics. Yes, scams are a prolific threat to our personal security, and seniors, we're the target. Help is here. Thanks to Sun City, they have brought in Lieutenant Eric Calendine from the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, who is going to update us on local scam activity and update us on how to protect ourselves.
And like I said before, I'm Lieutenant Eric Calendine with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. I've been with the Sheriff's Office now for 25 years. Mostly been involved with investigations throughout my career. I did some stuff in patrol. I was part of the dive team, the SWAT team, the high crimes unit, but majority of my career has been in investigations. And as supervisor investigations, I've seen throughout the years how much money is lost in Beaufort County. Before we're gonna get into the scams and just quickly go over a few things, obviously a way to connect with us in the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office is all these things up here. We're also recording this today, so this presentation will be recorded and be available to you. If you want a copy of the presentation, like the slideshow version, I will happily send that out. So we'll facilitate that way. I can get it out to you guys. So you don't have to worry about taking notes. Because I'm going to jump through a whole bunch of stuff. Some slides I'm going to go through real quick. Other ones I'm just going to skip over because we don't have a lot of time. So this presentation is available if you want it for later on. Like I said before, connecting with us, different social media. The biggest one is going to be Everbridge. Nixle is going to go away. Everbridge bought out Nixle. So for those who use Nixle, now you have to go and download the Everbridge app, and you can put in the address, zip code of what you want the information on. So if you just want, the Okatee area and Bluffton area, you just put the zip codes in. If you want to get Hilton Head and Beaufort, you can put all those zip codes in. If you want a zip code in Michigan or your friends and family up there, you can put that in as well. So you can control what you want information-wise. And it now is going to Everbridge. Like I said, this will be part of the presentation, so if you don't have enough time to take a picture of it, you'll get it at the end. The Citizen Police Academy, has anyone participated in the CPA? A few people. Oh, great. It's just something the Sheriff's Office offers. It's a 9-week program. It encompasses everything the Sheriff's Office does. It's a free program to sign up for. If you're interested to be involved and see how the Sheriff's Office operates, all the different functions and departments we have in the Sheriff's Office, there's more information on that as well. But the big topic today is scams. This is an ever-evolving. I just updated this this week because of different things have changed in the scams from last time I was here a few weeks ago. They keep evolving and they keep changing. And it's important as we move forward knowing that you're the target. You're where the bad guy is looking to get the money. This is a $158 billion enterprise now, and it keeps going up every year. And the amount of scams and amount of money lost throughout the United States, it has continued to rise. FTC different stats in 24 and 23. The median loss in the phone call had jumped up. It's 1,400, now it's 1,500. In Beaufort County, it's actually higher. It's about 4,000. Now, a phone call loss. So that's a phone call you get, and that scam, whatever it is, about 4,000 is a median. And there's all different ones. So you have the imposter scam, online shopping scam, business job-related, investments, internet scams, and just on and different scams and what they're doing as far as taking your money. They say in a given year, it's 1 in 18 cognitively attacked adults as a victim of a scam. It's probably 1 in 10. There's a lot of people who don't report it to us, the Sheriff's Office, because they're afraid that their family and friends are going to find out. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want anybody to know that they've lost this money. So a lot of people won't report to us that they're a victim of a scam. They say it's easier to take your money than is rob a bank. I'll say that again. Is it easier to steal your money than it is rob a bank? When's the last time we had a bank robbery in Beaufort County? 2016. 2016. That was before COVID. That was before COVID. COVID time, you could bring a mask to the bank and no one had a problem with it. I can't believe we didn't have more bank robberies back when we had COVID. It's because it was almost like free money. I could wear a mask, go into a bank, I could literally rob them, and their description was, well, he was like 6 feet tall and he had a mask. That's like everybody, right? So you need to understand the bad guys realize that nobody's doing bank robberies anymore. It's too hard. They're going after your money. How easy is it to just make phone calls to try to get you to fall for that scam, to send them money, to purchase gift cards, all these different ways to get your money and not have to worry about the FBI investigating somebody because they just robbed the bank. The bad guys have a playbook, and they're going to use that playbook, and when they steal all your information, they're going to use fear, pressure, loneliness, and confidence in that playbook. So wherever that scam is being facilitated, that's what they're going to use to go against you. Why are they going after you? You have all the assets, right? You have the target. They are sinking in on you because you have established assets. You might be isolated and lonely. You might be unfamiliar with financial matters. Again, you might be reluctant to report a crime. You may have disabilities that make you dependent on others. What's the consequences? All this psychological distress. You're a victim of a scam. You've lost money. See, now you're just in your mind mentally, but also financially impact, right? You've lost that money. There's that financial impact. There's that stress involved. The biggest at the end is a 300% increase in death. So I have a gentleman who's 83 years old. He fell victim to a scam, lost $30,000. And for the next several months, all he could do is think about that scam, and now he's a victim. He stopped eating, he stopped sleeping, and his health just started to spiral down. He lost 30 pounds in a matter of 3 months. And he was a skinny man already, and he lost that much weight. The doctor's office called actually myself and asked me what we were doing. I was like, well, I stopped the financial loss. I can't get that back to 30,000, but there's no more money leaving. I can't help him mentally. And that's a big part of these scams is the mental aspect is if you're a victim of a scam or your loved one's a victim of a scam, you need to talk to them. You need to get them help because they keep thinking about how they are impacted with that scam, obviously financially, but mentally it's going to eat away at them, especially a significant loss. And we've had a lot in Beaufort County of people losing lots of money. Like last week in Sun City, or 2 weeks ago, 81,000 loss. 81,000 in Sun City last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So these scams are targeting you guys. I mean, you're my target audience when it comes to scams. You're the ones that are going after. Top level scams, 24 into 25. Geek Squad was one of the big ones, and that can come in different forms. The Geek Squad, it could be the email from Geek Squad. It could be a text message. It could be a phone call. Or it might be you who actually wants to get Geek Squad help. So you go on your Google search bar and put Geek Squad as customer support. You need to realize that the first 4 groupings on that search engine are called sponsors, right? That's not Geek Squad. That's somebody who paid money to be on top of that search engine. So be very careful when you put HP customer support, Microsoft customer support, anything to do with customer support. You need to realize the first 4 or 5 might be sponsored by somebody paying to be on top of the search bar. And that might be the bad guy. So Amazon, we're talking about Geek Squad, Amazon customer support, same thing. You might get that email from Amazon, text message, did you order that new iPhone? Click here. If you didn't, we need to verify your accounts. They may call you and say, did you order this new Apple MacBook Pro? No, I didn't. Okay, we need to help safeguard your accounts. We need to do X, Y, and Z. They're just going to want to try to get more information from you to access to your accounts. Virus protection refund. This is the Norton antivirus, Microsoft security. Those type of things are going to get email. You need to renew your subscription to your antivirus. We need to upgrade your antivirus, whatever it is to trying to get computer information from you. Mail theft and forgery. Unfortunately, in Sun City and in most of Beaufort County, they're stealing mail. They're going after your checks. Where they have your checks, they've got a whole bunch of information off those checks. They've got your account number, your routing number, and your personal information. What are they doing with that? They either whitewash the check and put a new name on it, or they print out new checks using that information. And someone will then go to a bank, usually one state away, and go in with a fake ID with all your personal information on it, and present a check, or they'll want to get access to your account. Grocery store distraction. This is mostly for the ladies. Unfortunately, they're targeting your grocery stores. You have your shopping cart. You got your purse in the shopping cart basket. You're walking down the aisle. Someone's going to come in and distract you, just enough to make you turn away from your purse, come in, start taking some debit cards, not your whole purse. And by the time you get to the register, they've already hit Best Buy, Walmart, Sam's Club, and racked up charges. So it's recommended when you go to the store, zip that purse up, either put it on your shoulder. If you're going to put it in the grocery cart, lock it in with the seatbelt. Just remember when you leave and put the shopping cart back in the bin to remove your purse, right? We don't need to leave it in the shopping cart when you go home, okay? This also, I talk about grocery store distraction, the gyms. If you go to a gym outside of Sun City, like Planet Fitness, Synergy, those type of gyms, they are also targeting those as well for lockers that are left unlocked. So if you have a locker somewhere and you go work out and you leave it unlocked, they are targeting those sometimes, just be aware of that. Bank account compromise and federal investigation, these two kind of go hand in hand again. We talked about you might get a call from somebody from Wells Fargo saying your account's compromised and you need to do X, Y, and Z, and they need to safeguard your accounts, and that they're working with the FBI on this because they think someone's involved from your bank. They're trying to make this confidence make you think that it's really your bank It's really the federal investigator who's involved. So if you ever get anything with anything with your bank, and somehow somebody from the FBI or IRS calls you, hang up the phone, either go to that branch or open up your web browser and go to your online banking to find out what's going on. I also recommend you plug in your customer service number for your bank. So you right away, if there's an issue, you're not looking, you're not researching what your customer support number is for Wells Fargo. You've got that number plugged into your phone. You can hit the phone number right away. So just recommend that. Jury duty. How many people have got the jury duty scam? Oh, a few of you. Okay. Obviously, it's a big thing when you get the phone call saying you missed jury duty, there's a warrant for your arrest, whether it be locally or the federal up in Charleston. They are just trying to facilitate that to make you believe that there's a warrant for your arrest. They may even send you a picture of the warrant itself signed by PJ Tanner. They may have a picture of you. They may have a picture of your home. They're just using all that information to say, we're going to come arrest you right now unless you do X, Y, and Z. The toll scam obviously is along with that. How many people have got the toll scam? Almost everybody. There is a warrant for your arrest. I need to see everyone. There's buses outside to take you to jail. So you see one afterwards? No, the toll scam one, they just want your credit card and start hitting your credit card information. That's the big scam going around, the Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. They keep coming up after week of text messages saying you missed your toll. You actually might get one in the mail, which is what they start doing now is they actually send you a letter in the mail. You missed your toll in Atlanta. You need to pay $25. So we've also seen that as well as this scam is the text, and they start sending you letters. All these scams we talked about, the bad guy has been using cryptocurrency to facilitate it. Cryptocurrency is basically digital assets in a digital world that don't exist. You can't hold cryptocurrency. So, how many people have seen a cryptocurrency ATM? A few, okay. This is what cryptocurrency ATMs look like. What's the one on the right? Coinstar. Where do you see those at? Grocery stores, right? That's where you can put your change into and get receipt to go get money out from all your change. Well, now you can put your change in, and then you can buy cryptocurrency with it. So, they also look like this. Most of these crypto machines, you can only put money in, you can't get money out. So you can sit there and put money in, but it's not going to take any money, give you money out. And they usually are right next to some other ATM like this. These two are side by side at a gas station. These are predatory in the sense of the fees they charge are outrageous. So if you go to one of these machines, it's 18% transaction fee. So I had a victim. He put $30,000 into one of these machines. And $30,000 into one of the machines is not easy. It's $100 bills at a time. He sat there for 20 minutes feeding this machine, feeding it, $100 bills. The transaction fee alone was $6,000. Is that a good investment? $30,000 investment, but $6,000 is for the transaction fee. Is that a good investment, anybody? No. These are predatory. And these machines are all over the place, and we're trying to put legislation to combat them, but there's no limit right now how much money you can put in that machine. I have a victim who put $370,000 in a matter of 3 months into one of these machines. $370,000 of their retirement savings. So these, I don't know how to say it is, there's only a few reasons for these machines to work right now and exist in a gas station. Narcotics, human trafficking, and scams. Because nobody is going to pump gas and go, I need to buy crypto today. I should go inside and buy crypto, right? Nobody's doing that. There's no reason to do that. If you wanted to buy cryptocurrency, you would go to an exchange. You'd go onto your banking account, you transfer money to a crypto.com or Exodus or whatever different accounts are out there in the crypto world, and your transaction fee is not going to be 18%. But these machines, they're at these grocery stores, gas stations, and they have only one purpose, is to help facilitate that scam right now until we figure out how to put legislation out, which we're working with the ARP and the Department of Consumer Affairs for South Carolina, working on legislation to combat these where if you've never used crypto before, there'll be a 72-hour waiting period. So if you put $30,000 in the machine, it has to wait 72 hours before any transactions go through. Also trying to limit to only $1,000 a day. $1,000 a day is all you can put into it. So we're trying to facilitate some kind of legislation. Other states have done it already. We've got a drafting legislation. We're waiting on the Attorney General's office to come back to us and say, yes, it's good. And we've already got some senators in the State House who are ready to go with it, put it shit through, but unfortunately we're kind of in a snag right now with the Attorney General's office. All right, other scams, Medicare health-related scams. This is new. I talk about these scams, but I haven't seen this one come up until recently. About a month ago, we had back-to-back scams called in. One person said, somebody used my Medicare information to get dental work done. I was like, okay. So they told us that basically they got a bill saying somebody got dental work done in their name using their Medicare information. That same day, we got another person called and says, somebody used my medical information, my Medicare, to get a knee surgery. That's what they're doing now. They're stealing your Medicare information to go get work done medically. So because of all these different data breaches, and we'll get into it, but that's when it's new scams we're seeing is more and more Medicare scams where they're using your information and you get a bill for something you never did, had work done for. Funeral scams, cemetery scams, reverse mortgage. Who's on TV promoting reverse mortgages right now? Tom Selleck and Joe Namath, but Tom Selleck mostly, right? Magna PI. I'm not saying reverse mortgages are bad, but the bad guys know how to use it against our victims, and it's mostly in romance scams. They convince that victim that they won't lose their house, it's your money, and they tell them to withdraw that money, and they'll lose their house. Investment schemes, again, if it's too good to be true, it's a scam. Telemarketing scams, the grandparent scam. We'll get into this more at the end because it's a little more higher of a topic of what they need now for your grandparent scam. They need 10 seconds of your grandchild's voice or 10 seconds of the TikTok videos they're making out there. And they can reverse engineer that to make it look like your grandchild's calling you and they're in trouble. And it's going to get worse as we move on, as they get more sophisticated with these deep fakes, as they call it, reverse engineering video. The sweepstakes and lottery scam, I asked this, how can you win the lottery if you don't play the lottery? Right? But we have victims who fall for it. They get a call saying, you just won $500 million, but all you gotta do is pay $30,000 in taxes. And we have victims that will go to the bank, get $30,000 out, put it in a shoebox, and FedEx it off to somewhere, thinking that they're gonna win that money. Because they believe the scam of, they think back in the day of the Publishers Clearinghouse, right? We still have people fall victim to the Publishers Clearinghouse scam. Think if they won Publishers Clearinghouse, there's gonna be a van showing up with balloons and a big check and everything. It's a scam, but they'll pay winnings on taxes, allegedly. And the one down here, romance scams, and I combine it with social media scams. Obviously, there's a lot of lonely people, and there's a lot of lonely people in Beaufort County, but there's also a lot of people who just like to talk to people on social media. And they're targeting social media friendships. It's romance scams, still a big one, but now they're just going after regular people. I have a lady who lives in Sun City, She messaged this group saying, I really loved your concert's wonderful, really enjoyed it. She then, someone said, hey, we'd like to message you from the general manager puts a message out to her, hey, the lead singer would like to talk to you. She's like, great. She starts this communication back and forth with the lead singer of this band, who she thinks is the lead singer. Fortunately, it's not, and the friendship starts from there. And it goes on and it goes on, and this lady ended up losing money because of this friendship she had with the lead singer of a band. I say that because there's bad actors out there in social media circles that all they do is all day long is find out how they can impersonate somebody else to facilitate a scam. For that friendship, for that romance, they're out there in LinkedIn world. It's crazy right now how much they're intercepting LinkedIn to try to offer you a job to get your personal information, your banking account for a job to facilitate getting you. Once they get your bank info, they start scamming you and taking your bank information. So again, we go through customer support. We're going through the top tier. This is Geek Squad. Your subscription from Geek Squad, you renew it today. Click on this. Amazon, you might get that customer alert about verifying your accounts. The computers, I like this one, is the red screen of death or the blue screen of death. These might come up in your computer while you're on your computer, and you're like, oh, what's what I need to do here? Well, don't call these phone numbers here. Those are the scammers, right? But also, if you get one of these and they call you, and they say, hi, I'm John with Microsoft Customer Support. We noticed that you have some kind of malware. And you're like, yes, my computer's locked up. No problem. We just need to access your accounts to take care of this, or access your computer. That should be a red flag. All day long, if anyone that says, all we need to do is remote into your computer, or you need to download this app, that is a scam. I would not let anybody remote into my computer. We have a great computer club in Sun City. If you have an issue with your computer, I would take it to them, or take it to Geek Squad. Don't let somebody remote into your computer unless you know that person. If you have an IT guy that you're good with and you know that person personally, that's great. But do not let somebody remote into your computer. If you call HP customer support and they say we just need to remote into your computer, I'd be like, no. Because you don't know if that guy's real or not on the other side. You don't know if he's had a bad day and he's really a scammer who's working for HP, but now he's going to facilitate and put a malware on your computer because he actually works for another company that's and with HP as well. So I caution anybody who lets people remote into their computer or their cell phones. All right, check fraud. I'll talk about stealing your checks. Again, once they steal your check, they get all your personal information, your account run number, your routing number, and this is a huge enterprise now. We have postal carriers that are being approached and offered $1,000 a month to just pull checks out of the mail. We have postal employees who inside the branches of our post office are being arrested because they're stealing checks. I caution you about these check frauds, and I caution you to make sure when you send a check out, you actually watch it and make sure your online accounts, with your online banking, make sure it's actually getting cash where it's supposed to. So if you send that light bill out and it's for $200 and you click on the check image when you do online banking and it's to somebody else's name, you need to report that right away. And I asked you to report it because some banks have a threshold. If you don't report a check fraud in 30 days, they're not going to refund your money. 30 days, 60 days, whatever the policy is for that bank. So you need to be cautious of your accounts when you're sending checks out to make sure they're going where they're supposed to go. Because if you can catch it in time, the bank's going to refund your money and they're going to give you a new account. But if you don't catch it in time, the bank's going to be like, well, you waited past the 30-day mark. We're not going to refund your money. It's your responsibility to watch these checks when they're being cashed. Again, these are the phishing stuff. Click here to restore your account on your Wells Fargo account's been suspended. Your Amazon account's locked, verify now. These are all the phishing. They're just trying to get you to click on that link to hook you in. Again, these come up on your computer, suspicious, call this number, warning, Microsoft has blocked your account, your computer due to security reasons. Your data's been stolen. A jury duty one. You might get a text message about a corporate cryptocurrency government ATM. They might send you warrants through a text message. Again, we don't issue warrants for people who miss jury duty. We put you in the next month. So if you miss this month, we're going to put you on the next month, right? We don't issue warrants for people's arrest for jury duty. Neither does the federal government as well. The toll plaza one we talked about, it's rampant. They're constantly sending out texts to have you pay for something that you didn't actually, it could be $6.99. You're like, I'll just pay it. Don't pay it. It's a scam. All the different tools in the past, we've gone from when I started in 2014 as a lieutenant over investigations and a supervisor, we had MoneyGram and Western Union, and then throughout the years, it just kind of keeps changing as we go along. And it changes, with the Cash App to Zeal, Venmo, the wire transfer is a big one, and the cryptocurrency. Like I said before, cryptocurrency, all the scams are mostly being facilitated in crypto. And I think on that last slide I had at the beginning was we lost $3.1 million last year in Beaufort County alone to cryptocurrency scams. 3.1 in Beaufort County. This year, we're at 1.7. We're not halfway through the year yet. We're at 1.7 loss, 1.7 million in cryptocurrency losses. Data breaches. We've had a lot of them. And this last year in 2024 was significant because there were a lot of data breaches that happened that be really significant. Well, we actually had financial ones, Anthem, and as a healthcare, Department of Education, Facebook. But the two biggest ones, with the one on the right here, Change Healthcare. 145 million records stolen. What does that have? That has all your personal information, plus your Medicare information. That's how people start getting Medicare loans and medical procedures done. But the big one right here, 2.7 billion national public data. That was everyone's social security number. Everybody's social security number in the United States of America, their number was stolen last year. That should really concern everybody in this room, right? So what do you do? What are we supposed to do now we have all these data breaches? And we'll go some more data breaches. This is back in 2018, Yahoo, Facebook, Marriott, LinkedIn, Equifax. What's Equifax? One of the credit bureaus, right? One of the 3 credit bureaus, they got hacked. Target, and then my favorite down the bottom, Capital One. What's in your wallet? The bad guy. Bad guy's already in your wallet. They already have all your information, right? What are we going to do? Well, the ARP and the Department of Consumer Affairs of South Carolina recommend you freeze your credit. Now, that can sound scary, right? Who has actually frozen their credit in here? Great. This is awesome. Good group. Wonderful. All right. For those who haven't frozen your credit, it's not as scary as you think it is. To freeze your credit, you need us to go to the 3 credit bureaus on their websites, or you can call them, and you just click, and usually on the front page, it's freeze your credit, froze your credit, whatever they're going to call it. Go and just freeze your credit. And once you freeze your credit, that doesn't mean you can't use your credit card anymore. that has nothing to do with credit, has nothing to do with your credit card. You can still use your credit card, but nobody can get a loan in your name. Nobody can go to the Toyota dealership and get a car loan in your name. Nobody can go and get a medical loan in your name. They can't do anything with your credit at that point. It's locked down. But you say, well, what if I want to go buy a car? It's easy, because I just went through it with my son about 2 months ago. I went and we're financing my son's car. I said, hey, I want to finance my son's car. What credit bureau do you pull from? We pull from TransUnion. Perfect. Go on TransUnion's website, unfreeze my credit for 30 days. It was a simple process. Just put all my information in, put the timeline I wanted to unfreeze the credit. Once that timeline expires, the credit's locked back down again. It's simple, and it's not that scary that you think it is. But that is recommendation moving forward, is to freeze your credit. Because of all these issues with the data breaches and everything moving forward, is you learn how to secure your assets and your identity because of everything that's been stolen. The reason we get into everything's been stolen is, like we said before, they have your information, and what are they doing with it? So what they're doing is, like we said, creating a fake ID, going to banks that are usually a state away, or they'll open accounts in your name. They'll go to a bank and they'll actually open and get credit in your name, credit cards, full loan. They might present themselves and get access to any kind of bank account you have. They might go do a withdrawal of $30,000 at Wells Fargo up in North Carolina because they have all your personal information, and they've created a fake ID that has their picture, but all your personal information on it. So with these accounts that you have, I would tell you to put alerts on your accounts with banks. It's simple to do. It's a threshold of, you can put, if someone spends more than $200 on your account, you get an email and a text. I'd have mine set up for $300, so if anyone spends more than $300 on my accounts, I get an alert. My wife doesn't like that, because then I call her and go, hey, honey, what did you just spend $300 on? And she doesn't like that, so it could get you in trouble. I just wanted to let you know, but it actually makes sure that when you're at 9 o'clock at night on a Sunday and you get this text message saying you were at Walmart in Arkansas spending $900, no, I wasn't. And I called right away, Wells Fargo, and they shut everything down. So you can put alerts through your bank on thresholds of what's spent. Again, it gets you in trouble with your family members. Just be careful of that. All right, we're going to go through some local scams we've had this year. Not this year, but in years past. The first one's the CIA government. Lady gets a call saying, I'm with the CIA. Your account's been compromised. We think it's involved with the cartel. We need you to go to your bank and withdraw $100,000 cash. Meet us in the Walmart parking lot in Hardyville, where we're going to safeguard your money for you. And it happened. This lady, I can't believe the bank gave her the money. She went in the bank, got with $100,000 cash, put it in a shoebox, met this guy in the far corner of the Publix parking lot over there in Hardyville. I watched it on video. It's very far away, but the guy drove up in a white sedan. He had on a Hawaiian shirt, hat, khakis, shorts. He gets out of the car. They may have spoke for 10 seconds. It was almost like a drug deal. Like she just gave him the money and he drove off. And he drove off in the sunset. So I like to say he's in Hawaii enjoying the $100,000 cash because we don't know who he was. We have no idea. But this scam, she was convinced this was the CIA, that her accounts were compromised because they talked to her days on end about what the investigation was involving, how serious it was, that her life was in danger. I mean, they just scared and pressured her into doing this. Down at the bottom, this one went on for 6 months. It began with a phone call from the Visa Fraud Department. Hi, my name is so-and-so with the Visa Fraud Department. We've noticed there's some unusual activity in your bank accounts. It looks like your accounts are compromised. We think somebody at the bank is involved. We think maybe the bank manager, bank assistant manager is involved. We got the FBI working with us, and they're going to call you in here in a little bit. So next thing you know, she gets a call from the FBI. Hey, I'm Agent Johnson with the FBI. I'm working with Visa Fraud Department. We're working with them on this. We think someone at the bank is involved with this fraud. It's a major case, but we're going to need you to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So they emailed her an FBI form of a non-disclosure agreement saying that she couldn't talk about this case with anybody. Not her family, her friends, law enforcement, nobody. Her priest, she couldn't talk to anybody about this case. And for 6 months, all they said is, you just need to take $30,000 out this week, and we've set this account over here for you to safeguard your money. Next week, can you just take $20,000 out, put it over here? And they just siphoned the money out of her accounts to the tune of almost $1 million. 6 months, they had her. And that was a confidence scheme. Like obviously they're using different players involved, and an email with an FBI form. She thought it was real. Romance scam. I had a lady who met somebody online through a social media circle. They started talking on the phone every day. And every day they were exchanging photographs and talking about everything they had in their past and their children. And about 2 months in the relationship, he was a lawyer who had a shipping company. One of his ships breaks down in the Indian Ocean, and he needed $50,000 cash. So she wire transferred $50,000 to him. Next thing you know, the relationship's going on. They're supposed to meet in Miami. He had to cancel. They're supposed to meet in New York. He had to cancel. But they're still talking every day, and she's in love. The daughter starts getting wind of all this money being spent. She confronts mom. Mom's like, no, he's real. He's my boyfriend. We're getting married. So the daughter just says, you know what? I'm not dealing with you anymore. Good luck. Unfortunately, the scam artist convinced her to reverse mortgage. Because reverse mortgage starts taking that money out of the house, of the mortgage itself. We get law enforcement involved. We go out there. We talk to this lady 7 times, if not more. It's a scam, ma'am. You're being scammed. He's not real. Oh, no, here's a picture of him. He's real. That's not really him. She's using an imposter. I talked to this guy on the phone. He could care less who I was. He knew he had her hook, line, and sinker. They were in love, and he laughed at me. He's like, what are you going to do? So, unfortunately, she lost her house for reverse mortgage. We got the daughter back involved. She agreed to start helping out, even though mom had spent all the money. It's gone. So we got her in a retirement home. We'd take her cell phone, shut down her email address. We thought we were good. 2 years later, we get a call from the management company, the retirement home, like, we have a whole bunch of people on our floor being scammed. We don't know what happened. So we go out there, start talking to people who are being scammed, and then I see her walking down the hall, and I'm like, well, is she being scammed? He's like, no, she just lives next door to one of the residents. Let me talk to her. I talked to her. Ends up she found a phone number in one of the books, magazines she had. She reestablished contact, but not using her phone. She used her neighbor's phone. And she told everybody on the floor, oh, no, that's my boyfriend. We were supposed to get married, but my evil daughter put me here, and he's real, and we're in love. And so now she convinces everyone on that floor that he's real, and the scam starts again. So I tell you that story because I would tell you the bad guy will stop at nothing to take your money and bleed you dry. They will stop at nothing to take all your money and then try to get more. So you need to realize that is their job. And most of these bad guys are not here in the United States. They're in third world countries that have set up call centers. Cambodia, Vietnam, Nigeria. There are countries out there who are literally building complexes of basically call centers. The whole job is to find a way to take your money. And they're good at it because they're making a ton of money and they keep building more and more call centers. We're talking about different social media scams. There's all kinds going on right now. Nancy Anderson. I like to show this story.
And I said, yes, officer, may I help you? And he said, are you Nancy Anderson? I said, yes, what did I do? He said, somebody loves you. And that was the girl at Walmart who turned me in, because otherwise I wouldn't have had a clue.
81-year-old Nancy Anderson never expected to have a deputy show up at her door and talk to her about being a victim of a scam. And it all started with a friend request on Facebook.
So I checked his profile and I looked at all his pictures, cute pictures with his 2 grandsons. And he was a contractor and he lived in Columbus, Ohio. And so I thought, okay, I'll ask him a question. Why do you want to be friends with me?
The online relationship began at that point just a few days after Valentine's Day. Nancy and the man she knew as Michael Henderson talked daily, sharing texts and pictures back and forth, even making plans for the future.
I think you're fabulous, and of course then I got all the compliments. You're beautiful and you're smart and you're funny and you're fun and all this, and I was like, okay.
Then Michael offered to pay off her credit card, the balance several $1,000s. But during that same time, she says Michael had a crisis and he needed money.
Can you please get me some gift cards so that I can pay the landlord the rent, because my mother's going to be released from the hospital hopefully in a couple of days, and I have to be able to take her back home. And so I thought, I've never got gift cards before. I don't even know how to do that. He said, it's easy, you just go to Walmart and you get me, I need $3,000.
Red flag. Scam. I show that because Nancy Anderson's a wonderful lady. She's been a big supporter of the Sheriff's Office. She fell victim to this scam. I showed it because it brings personal incident to, as far as how these scams go about, how people fall victim to them. And it's amazing, day in and day out, we get these calls. People just talking on social media to somebody who they feel a personal connection with, but then all of a sudden they need money, there's something going on, so just caution you in the social media realm, this is a big time, the scammers are doing this day in and day out. He was from Nigeria, by the way, this gentleman. He wasn't from Ohio. All right, so the big one we had recently down at the bottom with the lady, she got contacted by the Public Defender's Office. It was a relative, it was in a car accident. She spoke with the relative. She said it kind of sounded like the relative, but she wasn't sure. They ordered her an Uber driver to her house. This is how sophisticated they're getting now. So they ordered an Uber driver to her house, pick her up, to take her to her bank, to get the money out, bring her back to the house, and then a few hours later, a courier shows up and gets the money. So you say, okay, well, the Uber driver's in on it. No, the Uber driver's just getting an order to go pick somebody up. He had nothing to do with it. The person who picked up the money, we've seen more and more, are called money mules. They may respond to an ad about, hey, we need you to just drive around, pick up items, drop some items off. We don't know who this person was. We've looked through video, can't really find it because we didn't have much description on the suspect car for the courier, but it's most likely a courier who thinks they're doing some kind of job that they think is legitimate, but it's not. So this person the courier probably picked the money up and had to go transfer it to some place or wire transfer it, and they probably got maybe $500 for the transaction. I don't know, but that's what we're hearing throughout the state of South Carolina. These aren't just local, they're happening nationwide, obviously in the state of South Carolina, so it's just not here. But it's increasing here in Beaufort County. We had one a couple months before this where the lady met him outside the gate to get the money to. Met a couple times outside the gate to get different kinds of money. So just when these scams come up, I caution you and tell you to tell your neighbors, talk about these scams, because the more information we put out there, it's less likely that next person is going to be scammed. The top one was the person got the red flashing box on their iPad. They called the number. The person claimed to be from Apple, told them their accounts were compromised. Then all of a sudden they transferred them to the Social Security Administration. Do you think that's unusual? I'm talking to Apple customer support, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, your accounts are compromised. We're going to transfer you over here to the Social Security Administration. Those two don't work hand in hand together, but the person fell victim to it, and this is the one who lost $380,000 in 3 months. All in cryptocurrency. And that's their entire life savings. I mean, it's just devastating. They email me once a week wanting to know what's going on with their case. And unfortunately, cryptocurrency, we're behind the times in law enforcement. We're trying to get there, but crypto tracing is not easy to do. And the bad guy knows that, and there's a lot of exchanges out there that don't allow law enforcement to get information from. So there's exchanges in Singapore and Ukraine and all the different places, China, that aren't law enforcement friendly, and they don't respond to our requests for subpoena or seizing funds or anything like that. So this stuff is worldwide, and once it goes to crypto world, it's almost impossible to get it back. Let's see. Oh, we're going to jump over to contractor scams. If you're having anything done work in your house, please make sure you check the references, make sure you check they have a license, what they're supposed to do. So if you're having a new roof put on and they don't have a plumbing license, that could be a red flag, right? So please check your references. You can go on the LLR website for South Carolina. You can check to see if they have a license, if it's currently in good standing. I would also recommend maybe you check out the Solicitor's Office website for Beaufort County to see if they've got any civil judgments against them or civil lawsuits. Because if they have 10 civil lawsuits against them, you may want to give them your money. Because they might just take your money and give it to somebody else because they're overdealt. Obviously all these scams are not scams, but they're being sued so much. Reverse, in the sense of forgeries, if you actually get a check in the mail and says, hey, we want you to be a mystery shopper. Just take this check, it's $2,000, go cash it at your bank, and go buy a whole bunch of gift cards. That's a scam. Nobody's giving out free money for you to go get gift cards, okay? If it sounds too good to be true, it's a scam, right? But what happens here is, so you go get this check, you deposit it, and then you go spend $2,000 without telling the bank that you don't know if this check's real or not, and then 2 days later, the bank's like, hey, that check you deposited is no good, you now owe $2,000 you've already spent. So caution you, if it's too good to be true, it's a scam. We're talking about passwords and two-step authorization to secure your accounts. How many people use FirstPass or LastPass? Oh, that's good. Oh, well, you do? Okay. All right, so what First Pass and LastPass are online portals that will take all your information and put it all together into one password, one group. They say they can't be hacked, but what happens when you say that? You get hacked, right? I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. I just caution you because they've been hacked. There's that uneasy feeling. I don't want to give everybody everything I own as far as an online, banking, any kind of pension stuff, all the stuff you have. I just caution. So I'm not trying to say it's bad. Just be aware of that. All right, so two-step authorization. It's when you sign into your bank account and you get that text message or an email to get that two-step, just put the code in. Definitely sign up, make sure you got that enabled on your bank accounts, because I would tell you, unfortunately, they're starting to clone our cell phones. So one day you might be able to talk on this, and the next day it's completely shut down because they've transferred all the information onto another phone. And once they do that, what do they have access to? All your emails, every app you have on your phone, every single one is transferred over. So I caution you to make sure you start having two-step authorization. That way, if they get a hold of your one account, they can't get into another account because of different aspects of your two-step authorization. We talk about passwords, and I know a lot of you probably have a notebook at home next to your computer that have all your passwords on it, right? Okay, so you need to learn that the bad guy is not necessarily international. It could be the person right next door. It could be that bug guy, the HVAC guy, that person who's coming into your home, and all they got to do is take their phone out as they're walking by and go, click, and now they've got all your passwords, right? So we recommend, if you're going to have a password book next to your computer, is go cryptic with it. And I say cryptic could be very simple. If you have a Wells Fargo account, on your little notepad, you put WF equals America. Okay? But in your mind, you know the last few digits before or after that password. So let's say your password's America 1, 2, 3, 4, exclamation point. So on your little notepad, you put Wells Fargo equals, or WF equals America, because you know what that password is. And if the person coming by your house, the HVAC bug guy comes and takes a picture of it, they're not going to have access to your accounts. They have no idea what that information is. Okay? By the way, America 1, 2, 3, 4, exclamation point is mine. No one else can take that one. That's my password. So again, like TD Bank, TD equals Main Street. Charles Schwab, Schwab equals Clifford, Clifford the big red dog. Anything you want to do, but try to make it cryptic, but enough that you remember what the last few digits are. It could be off. You could just have it moved just 1 or 2 digits. It doesn't matter. Just be cryptic about it. That way, if somebody gets a hold of your notepad, they're going to not have any idea what it is, or be able to access your accounts. Like the ARP says, better passwords, multi-factor authorization, review your credit report, freeze your credit. Make sure you do automatic software updates on your computer, because your phone does it. You'll get that alert saying, hey, at 2 o'clock in the morning, we're going to push through a new software. Make sure on your computer you do the same thing. It's automatic, toggle it on. So anytime there's a new update comes through, it's automatically going to be updated on your computer. Obviously, don't click on links or answer phone calls. What to do if you're a victim. If you're a victim of identity theft, you go to identitytheft.gov. It has step-by-step instructions on what you need to do to secure and work on getting your identity back. File with IC3.gov is the central database for the federal government. And we tell people to file with that because you might be the victim here, but there might be 200 victims throughout the United States. And so you file a report with the sheriff's office, which is good. We have it here. But you need to file with IC3.gov because we've had cases where somebody in Montana was a victim, like we had somebody here in Beaufort County, both sending money to a place in California. Well, an HSI officer was working the case out of Montana, found out we had a victim here, contacted the sheriff's office, said, hey, we're working the same case here, and he took over my case, and we ended up making an arrest on a person. It was a Chinese national that got like $250,000 in one day, wire transferring from almost 30 victims in the United States. All in one day, he got that money. So these scams are facilitated here locally, but also internationally, and there's a lot of different players involved. Obviously, the big thing is balance your bank accounts, verify your purchases, review your credit reports. If you get a bill from an organization you don't recognize, don't pay it. So if you get a bill for $25 and you're like, I don't know what this is for, maybe I'll just go ahead and pay it. Make sure you actually realize that that might be a scam, that they're just trying to get you to pay a small amount, but a small amount versus with 2,000 people paying it, it's a large amount, right? Google fell victim to this one. Google was getting a bill for $300 a month for a janitorial service for a building J. It was out in California. So they paid it every month, $300, janitorial service. They just thought, okay. 5 years later, they realized we have 2 janitor services paying for the same building. One guy was just sending a bill every month, $300, never took step foot on the property. So please verify when you get these bills that you're supposed to pay it or not. It could be a scam in itself. If you're worried about title lock, we always get this question, title lock, do I need it in South Carolina? No, you do not. Title lock is for stealing someone's title. In South Carolina, if you're going to do any kind of title transaction, it has to be a lawyer present, and they have to do research on it. So we don't have any issues with title being stolen from you or anything. But if you're worried about your property, you can go to the Registered Deeds office and sign up for your fraud alert on your property, which if you think someone's going to do anything with your property, you can do that. It's free up to sign up for. All right, AI, as we talked about. They need 10 seconds of your child, grandchild voice, or 10 seconds of the TikTok videos they're making. They reverse engineer it. They can do a FaceTime call, make it look like it's your grandchild calling you. Hey, Grandpa, I need help. I got in this car accident, and it's just this rushing of information. They're sad, they're crying, they're scared, and they're trying to pressure you into giving money. And so, okay, what can we do to combat this as AI keeps getting more and more elaborate? They go back to having just a family password. If you, back in the day when you had a family password, if little Johnny is in the bus loop and someone pulls up and goes, hey, Johnny, your parents told me to get in the car, I'm giving you a ride home. There was a family password. Well, I don't know who you are. What's our family password? So that's the same thing we're asking people to go moving forward is, as this technology and AI gets more elaborate, we need to communicate with our own family members about this and have a family password. It could be where you grew up. It could be your favorite dog, favorite sports team, something to communicate with that family member so when it's that rush, I need help right now, because the judge is going to keep me in jail over the weekend and I need $15,000. Okay, Johnny, I want to help you, but what's our family password? And if they go, well, I don't have time for this. I need help. They only give me 30 seconds to make this phone call. That's okay. What's the family password? And if they don't have it, hang up the phone, call that loved one. And I would tell you 99% of the time, if you get a call or a text message or whatever it is from a family member that needs help, call someone, a family member, to confirm, because people still fall victim to these types of scams because they just get rushed into believing that this is their only phone call they can make. And that they're going to be in jail all weekend. They need help. Don't tell mom and dad. I'm going to be in so much trouble. Whatever it is, hang up the phone, call a family loved one. Again, how do we stop AI scams? Stop and verify, set up the family word. Don't trust caller ID. It may look like the Beaufort County Sheriff is calling you, but it's not. It may look like the IRS is calling you. These are spoofing numbers that they can create. It might look like the White House is calling you. It is not. They're spoofed numbers. Again, don't give in to pressure. If you're bored one day and want to see what all kinds of scams are going on, the ARP website has a little thing called Scam Tracker. When I ran this, it was auto-related scams, business imposter scams, check scam, and cryptocurrency scam and fraud. And it was all in the area that we live in 29910. All right, as we get to the end of this, defending yourself and your loved one is the most important as this. As we move forward and as these scams that we get, this is ever changing. As I keep changing this, as the scams get more and more elaborate in my presentations. But you guys are the target. You're the persons that are trying to get your money. It's easier to get your money to rob a bank, like we talked about. So make sure you're aware of all these different forms of scams we have. Make sure that you just take a breath. A lot of people say is, just take that minute to breathe at that scam. What is this? What is this person trying to do? What are they trying to tell me I have to do? And just stop and breathe. Don't give in to that pressure. The South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs has ditched the pitch as their way they talk about, don't fall for that pitch they're trying to send you. The 60 Minutes grandparent episode, if you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it. We don't have time today, but just type in 60 Minutes on YouTube and this grandparent scam. It goes into how elaborate these scams get and how victims fell for these scams.